How do pulp stories influence mainstream entertainment? This one's wide open to the panel.
Oh, good Lord. Have you seen some of the latest ones? I mean, when you look at 2012, if that's not a pulp story, first of all, the science is all wrong. Who cares? They get to blow things up, and some guy gets to be the hero, flying through exploding, volcano-y, destructy, watery. I mean, that is just one big, huge pulp story. And like I said, when you look at the science, you're laughing your head off. You're just laughing out. First of all, you can't be that close to a supervolcano blowing up without literally being pulverized, and somehow they can fly away in a 2-engine plane. I mean, it's just.
But you're looking at the science.
So wrong.
You're not the demographic. You know,
That's what I'm
a pretty
saying.
cynical audience.
But that's what I'm saying. It worked very well because it was pulp. People understood that it was science fantasy. They let it go. They just wanted to be entertained. It was a classic. Same thing with the other one those guys did, Independence Day. So many things wrong with that, including something a quarter the size of the moon that close to the Earth. It doesn't have to actually do anything. Just being there is going to destroy the entire planet through tidal forces. But we don't care. It was just fun. It was pure pulp. You had your classic knight. You had your classic castle. You had your classic wizard. You had your classic shaman. You had everything there.
But I would
Super
argue
pulp.
that pure pulp, like, and you can look at some of the covers around, and maybe, Bond, when we're done with this, we'll do a pan out of some of these really incredible covers that are in the theater. But a lot of it was just outrageous, almost Quentin Tarantino outrageous. And I'm not even mentioning, you know, Pulp Fiction obviously is his movie, but it seems to me that from what I've read about pulp, it's not that the science is unbelievable. It's that Nazi werewolves from whatever. Just this.
It's not a matter of the science is unbelievable. It's that the science is immaterial. What you're really going for is the action, the drama, the this, the that, the wow. Look at the.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Michelle.
Okay. The animated cartoons, the superheroes. Have you seen the recent Batmans and Supermans? They have the talking apes with their island strongholds and everything else, and the hover, and then you have the intergalactic or interdimensional beings with the hovercrafts and everything else. That is just amazing. It's right out of the old pulps.
Yeah, and one thing too, Indiana Jones. There's a classic one there. He's Doc Savage, and even say, look at he's Doc Savage, and so that's absolute pulps. And you also take a look at the evolution of. I mean, a lot of people like you're talking about the comics, cartoons. Superman, he's the Man of Steel. Doc Savage was the Man of Bronze. You know, so it was an evolution of that whole thing, but it definitely passes forward. Obviously, Batman started in that time period, the 30s and 40s. And a lot of the comics were follow-ups of the pulp stories themselves, and you know, either the character or that type of personality is what then became, as the pulp started dying out, and the comics became the major source of the inexpensive entertainment, the escapist type material.
What's interesting to me is that, because I know that the popularity of, say, Spider-Man, for example, was a sort of his very human aspect, or even the Dark Knight, you know, that he had to, you know, cull from his brain to sort of fight the bad guys, and that there was a period of time where Superman was too super, too pulpy almost. And so it's almost like we have reached this point where we have this sort of South Park cynicism, yet, as Eitan was talking about, we have the 2012 pulpism all melded together. And there seems to be a very odd marriage of, well, we don't believe in that crazy pulp Superman stuff. It's too much, and we've got to like make him more human and make him weak, or we've got to create a Spider-Man or a Dark Knight. And yet we have all this sort of melding of this unfortunately cynical age, and it's very interesting that these have become our entertainment.
But one thing that just happened was in the last week or two, Marvel announced they're going back to the old, that stereotypical the heroes, you know. So it was just, I just read that about 2 weeks ago. They brought on board some of the creators so they can go back to, so that you don't have that super flawed, good old fashioned pulp heroes, and get rid of all the flawed.
I would argue that's not the matter of influencing. The matter of the pulp completely dominates mainstream media. I mean, every once in a while you'll get a Moon, which is just brilliant, clear, cool. The movie that came out, Moon.
Oh, that was brilliant.
That was brilliant. And every once in a while you'll get something that comes out, but it doesn't penetrate the consciousness, obviously, of everybody. But most of the time you're getting 2012. Most of the time you're getting Avatar. Again, nice, solid, fun. The storyline's not particularly original, but as long as it's big, bold, brash, amazing, we don't care.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean, absolutely. So it's not how does it influence pulp, it's like how does anything but pulp manage to ever get made in mainstream media? To be perfectly honest, it's almost all pulp. And
Soundman Tim.
I just thought the example of Indiana Jones is a really good one. Pretty much everything George Lucas has done since THX 1138 has been trying to bring back pulp, right? You know, Star Wars, if you look at it at its core, is a pulp adventure.
Western, right?
You know, and let's not forget that he also did Howard the Duck.
Let's please forget that he did Howard the Duck.
I think
please,
he wants
everyone,
to forget
let us all forget that he did Howard the Duck.
Good point. Good point. So I guess that about wraps up our how does pulp stories influence mainstream entertainment. According to Eitan, it actually is
the opposite.
It's the opposite way
How
around.
does anything but pulp ever get made? And occasionally you're lucky, you'll get a Contact, you'll get a Moon. But for the most part, it's pulp.
Thank you very much. We're going to wrap this one up because there's just not much more to say on it. We've pretty much covered it.